As Johnny Plooy prepares for possibly his most important fight of his career against Francesco Damiani later tonight, let's look back at some of his earlier bouts. Remember his clash against Ricky Parkey of the USA.
He seems to be in a little bit of pain for some unknown reason, but I don't know what it is, whether it's a shoulder or what it is that seems to be paining him. But
it seems to be Plooy's complaining that Parkey's using the head in the body. That's what it seemed to be from my ankle. But we'll have to interview Plooy after the fight to really find out what is troubling him.
Trying to catch Parkey on that occasion, didn't Parkey turn his back very quick to recognise the fact that Plooy might be after him.
Plooy coming through with one or two useful combinations there.
Really got a good right the way through onto the head of Parkey there.
Nice fighting there.
Oh, and a good left and right there from Plooy. Parkey still comes forward. Dropped his guard a bit as Parkey. And that's what you don't want to do, drop your guard, because Plooy will come forward at you, as he's now doing. Plooy coming forward aggressively. And Parkey took a tremendous amount of punishment. Oh, a bad one, hit his head badly. He'll never get up from that one. That was a bad one. It's a little low, but he got away with it.
Weaver straightening Plooy up with the uppercut. He knows that Plooy's left is gone. He's just walking straight into his man.
Of course, what he's got to watch there, that when he does walk straight into his man, that he doesn't open himself up. And,
to the right hand, yes. Well, that's all Plooy has left, it would seem.
There's another one. But of course, Weaver taking complete control with both hands.
And Weaver's holding his left glove high to guard himself against the right hand.
Oh, and a great right from Weaver. Plooy in trouble in his own corner with about 10 seconds to go, round number 6.
Well, there's no question who won that round. It was Weaver's round. And I would think that at this stage of the fight, Weaver's now in front.
Yes, I got Weaver just up in front. And I think this could well be it. There it is. So there we are. On a technicality, a TKO that would be classified as, because Weaver has been declared the winner.
Dat hy behoorlik geskut is deur Plooy wat baie kalm bly in omstandighede. Dis nie ultimate nie.
Dit is die regte taktiek wat Plooy volg, om nou blindelings in te storm in 'n regter soos wat Martin al gewys het hy kan slaan, sou dwaas wees. Martin slaan baie hard en as Plooy kalm boks, behoort hy weer op 'n tyd te tref en dan kan hy die geveg beëindig.
Skys daar wat sê, pas op vir die koppe. Bly net kalm bly. Weer is daar die regter en linker. Maar 'n goeie teenaanval van Johnny Plooy met albei vuiste.
Ja, daardie regter van hom is op die teiken, op die ken.
Plooy wat vir Everett Martin met die grootste gemak met daardie reguit linker aanslaan en die kop regter. En opstaan sal hy nie.
Ja, dis verby. Hy opklopper het hom uitgesit. Hy lê op sy rug. Hy kan nooit die telling klop nie. Dit is Johnny Plooy se 18de uitklop hou.
Step back. Okay, step back.
Moet sê de Plooy leg fixer. En hierdie geveg.
Ja, die feit dat hy 10 rondes lang hier geboks het, wel die tempo miskien nie helemaal so vinnig was as wat die mense sou wou gehad het nie.
Ja, dit
is
is
het vir hom dat hy die 10 rondes op zijn voeten gebleven en dat hij nog steeds bereid is om houden te staan soos nou daar met een goede combinatie van linkers en rechters.
Ja, soos jy sê, Jan, die tempo tel baie. Maar is nie baie hoog geslaan nie. Ek dink die meeste hoog wat in die geveg gestaan was in die 9de ronde.
Daar die briljante rug uit linker van Pritchard, wat de Plooy se kop plat skud.
Ja, de Plooy heeft geen antwoord op reg gedou nie.
En dan tref hy vir Pritchard en Pritchard moet vashou.
Pritchard het beslissing
Pritchard het nou seer gekry. En dis weer die regter. En dit is wat de Plooy nodig het, 'n uitklop om die geveg te wen. Nee, die geveg kan gestop word. Stand Christodoulou. Treed tussen beide. Pritchard is 'n slaansak.
Hier is beslis moeilikheid.
En dis verby. De Plooy wys dat hy in die 10de ronde sy teenstander kan skud tot in sy hakskene in. En Pritchard staan nog steeds in die hoek van de Plooy. En hy weet nie mooi waar hy is nie. Daar is spinnerakke wat nou so dik geweef is in sy kop.
And now Johnny's going after him now. The Plooy really fed up now. Yes. Johnny can't lose his cool, and that's what's happening right now. He's upset. He's got to get his composure. Because he's got Snipes where he wants him. Well, Snipes is down. Whoa. The rope saves Snipes from falling. If Johnny steps back, Snipes is going to fall on his face. Snipes is holding behind the head and hitting. Snipes is laying on him. Snipes is almost out on his feet here. Yes. What happened? What happened? What happened? I saw Johnny go down to his knee, but there was no punch land. I don't know what happened. I don't know if the referee signaled something, but Johnny went down to his knee. And the ref waved it off. I saw Johnny go down, but what is the decision? I don't know what the decision was. Oh, Duva. And Lou Duva is clearly upset, and he should be. I'm trying to find out what happened. If we can get a look at the replay, maybe we can find out what happened through the replay. They're saying that Johnny quit. I don't understand. I didn't see him give a sign of quitting, but they're saying Johnny quit. Right back, Jim.
So far, the patch-up work they've done in the corner has stopped the flow of blood from the Blues. Down goes Weaver. What a great ride. That's a surprise. I think a right hand did it.
Weaver is wobbly.
Weaver blowing hard. And here comes the Plooy. Followed right to the head. A lot of them going behind the neck.
Weaver won't survive this one.
Weaver covering up on the ropes. We've seen this before from him.
And it's still early days in round number 2.
Weaver's in the habit of getting back to the ropes and not fighting back.
I can't understand the Plooy just standing there.
Well, the Plooy's trying to pick the punch to put Weaver down. He caught him, but he certainly hurt him with that left hook. Trying to open up the world champion, and Weaver's flopping back against the ropes. Lefts and rights being poured in. Weaver not punching back. That's the mistake he made against Michael Dokes when he lost his world title.
Taking punches to the head. His face is now bleeding.
Massive blood. A lot of blood coming from Weaver's nose. So those punches are clearly getting through.
How much more can Weaver take? We approach halfway in round number 2. Mike Weaver in a lot of trouble. Can he stand up for the rest of the round?
Plooy trying to pick his shots. He doesn't want to go wild. He doesn't want to take the chance of punching himself out, because that's what he did in the first fight in the 3rd round. But meanwhile, Weaver probably is recovering from those punches. Oh, no, he's not. He's not going to get up. He's not going to get up.
He won't get up.
He's out.
Revenge is sweet for Johnny Duploy. The count is 10, and Johnny Duploy has won this fight.
Syracuse. I'm Robin Welsh, and with me to comment on the Johnny Duploy fight for this evening, which probably is Johnny Duploy's biggest and most toughest fight ever, is Reg Gutteridge, the veteran commentator from Great Britain. Reg, how do you see Damiani's chances this evening first?
Well, I have to be honest with you, and I know a bit about South African heavyweights over the years. My dad trained Ben Ford, who was a British champion, so I have a great affinity. It's like being thrown in the gladiator's den here a little bit, isn't it? It's very hard to win in Italy, but I have to say that the 3 American judges and an American referee is going to make a big difference, because when we have European championships here, we found that particularly with British imports, it's very hard to win. Henry Cooper and Joe Bugner won in Italy, so it can be done. And I watched Johnny Duploy training in London last week, and I have to say I was very impressed. He had 3 good sparring partners, guys who really worked, and I'm told that's the best shape he's been in. I've only seen him on tape, recorded fights, so I'm really looking forward to it. But now, getting back to the Damiani thing, he's got a good chin. He is a veteran a little bit. That is in Duploy's favour, that he's got the age going for him. Got a strong chin. He'll take some knocking over, and he stays the course, and he had a marvellous amateur career. You know, silver medal in the Moscow Olympics. In the Los Angeles Olympics, when he fought in the Moscow Olympics. He won European gold medals. It's a tough fight, Robin, I have to be honest.
Well, Duploy's got a weight disadvantage. Damiani weighed in nearly 10 kg heavier this morning, and Damiani's also got a height advantage over Duploy. How do you think that will feature in the fight?
Well, he's a good boxer, Damiani. He's not necessarily stylish because he's bulky. But I know Terry Lawless, who manages Frank Bruno, has a lot of regard for him, and he also manages the British champion called Gary Mason. And he says, I think Damiani, just particularly with home ground advantage, it's not that it is his technical home ground, he lives a long way from here, really, but not quite as far as Duploy. He thinks he'll just be too strong for him, and I might go along with that opinion, but I must say, I know you can't tell in gymnasium workouts. I mean, they're only rehearsals. This is the real thing, and I'm wondering whether Johnny will, get the nerves going, and I'm a bit worried about the Ronaldo Snipes fight and what happened in that. And again, that was away from home. I mean, if he was fighting this fellow in South Africa, then it's got to be the most even fight you've ever seen.
Okay, there we have then, that's the expert opinion from Reg Gutteridge.
The music there he is. Duploy Senior.
Plooy first out.
Handsome looking guy, isn't he? He really is. And if he can pull this off, he'd certainly be an attraction. So what does that Steel World mean, Robin?
That's also one of his sponsors. This is a Squadron Rum sponsored principal fight, but Duploy also, like Grant Messias, belongs to the Steel World stable.
Well, as I was saying earlier, it looks so calm and collected to me, and I hope for your sake and South African viewers that it keeps up.
Well, in conversation with him this week, Reg, he seemed very calm, cool, collected. Yes, he said to me that he enjoyed his sparring in Britain. It was the best he ever had. He really does like fighting. He doesn't like training. He'll tell you that personally. The sparring is what he enjoys, and fighting is what he really enjoys. He said to me he feels in tip-top condition. His weight is 95 kg.
I think I've worked it out with kilos, Robin. There's about 24 pounds difference in this, isn't it?
It's about 11 kg difference, 106 kg, Damiani. Very heavy for him.
Yeah, that's the old boy's certainly a big one. It goes right back to the famous Primo Khan era, almost. But he weighed in British weight, weighed 19 stone. You'd like to convert that sometime. So there you are, the usual obvious, the local chants for their man, although this is not his hometown, and Sicily really is quite a long way away from where he was born in northern Italy.
And the question for Damiani is, will he be able to stand a real two-fisted attack on Duploy, which is what Duploy tends to try and do from the beginning?
Yeah, the last time he went the distance, by the way, Damiani, I've got July in '87, Eddie Richardson, where he went 10 rounds. And now he's had, what, 5 technical knockouts or knockouts in a row. But I'm wondering about his staying power. I've often thought about that. He was a good 3-round amateur fighter.
Well, staying power, particularly as he's carrying more weight than we've ever known, 106 kg.
Yeah, that's big. For any British viewers, that would be about, what, 16 stone 10, or 234 pounds. I tell you can spend a week converting all these weights in the boxing today. And what with the 4 ruling bodies now, and now this new one, World Boxing Organization, which is, I tell you, is getting a lot of credence one way and another. And the fact that they've attracted Tony Perez, who handled an Ali Frazier fight among many others that I've seen him work, and his wife Barbara now is a judge, not for this fight.
I think these weights are not what was happening in the weigh-in this morning, because I got the weight stood right over the scale, but there we are. They got 104,8 and they had 96 for Duploy.
Well, perhaps some of it's been lost in the translation. That
could have been, I
happens.
think. In fact, we're talking of Tony Perez, the referee. This is a very good omen for South African fans. He refereed the Doak Katia fight, which Katia unexpectedly managed to knock out Doak.
I was pleasantly there at Richfield near Cleveland to see that fight, and you've reminded me. I didn't realise that he did referee that one.
Sure did.
What a great win for Eddie Katia that was.
Well, there we are. The records up on the screen speak for themselves. Duploy with 25 fights and 22 wins. Damiani unbeaten after 23.
Have they put a bit on his age there, Johnny Duploy? I thought he was 24. Has he gone up to 25 behind my back?
I don't think he's made his birthday yet.
No, it's the caption there, they had 25. Well, you know what the Italian boys are. They put on an extra note or two. It's the old veteran manager there, Umberto Branchini.
Whilst they're gloving up, Reg, you weren't here at the time, but a big dispute over the gloves, which we'll talk about, I think, after the national anthem.
And the anthem for the referee. It's cut very short as well.
I think there's a slight mix-up there.
Well, you don't mind if I stand there playing my anthem. Do you think that's for me, Robin, by any chance?
I think we have the wrong anthem for South Africa there, which is a bit disgraceful.
Yeah, you can't make jokes about that, can you? I mean, it's just crazy. I was amazed.
Very bad. Well, let's see if we get the Italian anthem right. We might get the juniors in one.
Oh, they managed to get that one right.
Well, there we go, the national anthem. The Duploy corner. Duke Duploy is not really the manager. He is the father and the cornerman trainer of Johnny Duploy, along with Willie Locke. Rodney Berman, in fact, is the manager. Rodney Berman, along with a lot of other South Africans who've made the journey to Syracuse. So there's probably 40 or 50 here to see this important heavyweight fight. We were talking just now about the gloves, Reg. This morning there was a big dispute with Mr. Branchini in picture at the moment, senior. Then they must use Italian gloves because that's the way it is, because it's Italy. And the Duploy camp were not very happy about that because they found the gloves to be not of the quality they require. At the end of the day, the gloves were accepted. And here we are, we see the gloves going on Mr. Damiani. The arbiter or the referee, Tony Perez of the USA, though probably resident in Puerto Rico. With the judges, Dennis Nelson, although he has now been swapped around to be the fight supervisor. And all the other judges from Puerto Rico. Very unusual, this, as you said, Ray, to have 3 at least Puerto Rican based, and the 4th, the referee, saying he lives in the USA.
Well, that's all the trimmings gone, even if they got a few captions wrong, and the unfortunate bit about the anthems as well. And let's get down to business now. All the talking's over, all the worrying and the waiting, and perhaps a bit of the wondering by the boxers. And Well, I take it, although he's obviously Spanish-speaking, he's lived in America many years, Perez, and he's a good, tough referee, so he should handle this okay.
A couple of impressive-looking heavyweights. Two big guys. Really look as though they're going to go for it.
Well, can it go 12 rounds, Robin? When you see the size of these fellas, the answer's got to be no.
Don't think so. Here we go then, Duploy Damiani. Crowd of about 3,000 people here in Syracuse. WBO Heavyweight Championship of the World, round one.
I think Duploy will be looking for counter punches. What's the overhand right-hand punch? That's going on his favors a little bit.
Damiani looking a little bit sloppy around the middle, to say the least.
Oh, yes, I think he's been on the old spaghetti at some time or other.
Fettuccine is his like.
One thing I like about Duploy, I noticed in training, Robin, he's nice and loose. He's not tight. A lot of British fighters suffer from that. They're very tense. But you see, he's not showing a bit of that there. He's nice and relaxed. If I may say so, a kind of American style, really. Maybe it's the experience that he's had in his face.
I think in recent times, recent fights, he's learned to take his time a bit more rather than be rushed like an amateur.
As I said early on, that Damiani is not the most stylish of customers, but he's a big hulk of a man and takes a good shot, and he may have to if Duploy's in good shape. Like that.
A couple of good punches there from Duploy.
Just got to lean in with that punch, that right-hand punch. He just missed with that one, but at least he turned his shoulder in, Duploy.
Damiani's shorts remind me of James Broad, those big baggy numbers.
Oh, yes. Like a pair of curtains for most people. Not a bad idea now for Duploy just to flick away with that left hand and try to nick a few points as he goes along.
Easily getting through with that right.
Remember, this is the vacant WBO version of the heavyweight championship. And Damiani has had to either vacate or been stripped of what's known as the international championship by the WBC, but he is the reigning European title holder.
Has been so for a couple of years.
There's talk of him giving it up, but I think it's going to depend really on this contest. Well, a kind of look-around start, really, at an opening round. This isn't. They've had a bit of looking for scouting reports, both of them.
Okay, let's return to the studio for a very short commercial break. Welcome back to the break between round 1 and 2 of this WBO heavyweight title between Johnny Duploy and Francesco Damiani. Reg, how did you make the score of the first round? I thought it was a bit even Steven.
Yeah, I gave 10 points to each, really. Neither deserved to win it, neither deserved to lose it.
Okay, away we go, round 2.
I'd like to see Duploy start to open up a bit more now because Damiani's plodding. It's the only word for it. And he should try and cash in on that a bit now, Duploy. While Damiani appears to be a bit lazy.
Crowd trying to lift him a little bit. Duploy getting through quite nicely with that right every now and again, Reg.
Yeah, just as I said earlier in the first, if he just leans in with it a bit more, it'll be a very damaging punch. He's more or less, well, not flicking with it because his size, everything hurts. A little bit more follow through, and he really stopped this big fellow in his tracks then.
Damiani's got a lot of bulk to shake around.
Yeah, he needs a lot of softening up, doesn't he? And, you know, there's no secret in this. Robin, he's set his sights on trying to finish up fighting Tyson and get himself a big payday. It's a little ambitious at this stage, I suggest.
Yeah, I don't think either fighter is meat enough for Tyson at this stage.
So there he is, as you say, repeating that right hand. It's almost a counterpunch there, but not always landing. Some are just touching the side of the head.
Almost lateral movement from other boxers, just standing there and slugging it out.
No, they're certainly not making use of the ring, as they say. They're a bit leaden-footed. But, you know, years ago, fighters were nowhere near as big as this. You just got the one odd one came along, but nearly everybody today is fighting at this weight level. It's quite incredible. Mustn't pose too long, Robin. That's going to be a trouble with Plooy. He's got to get in there and take this decision. Haven't seen anything yet of Tony Perez. He's swinging around there like a good one. As I said, in his 65th World Championship officiating there. And he's slowing down for the picture. So coming up then to the end of the second, and again, very much of a look around this one. I mean, not too many solid punches gone in.
So Damiani's
that's a good
left eyebrows a little bit swollen, a little bit reddish.
So right at the end of the round, they're finally getting through.
Fred?
Well, I think the judges are they'll probably give that to Damiani, you know. He just scored a bit at the end, as we're watching here now. But I thought Plooy looked good for at least half of that
2 minutes
round.
there, yeah.
But he just stole a few punches towards the end, and that's their overhead camera now. As I said, they're not all getting through. There you are. He's falling short like that. It might look good at the back of the crowd there, but not close up.
Well, I would say at this stage, Reg, Plooy's punches seem to have a better length and timing to them when he gets through.
Yes, I would have thought so. I said I'd just like him to get that little foot nearer. 6 inches will do, closer to Damiani, and it'll do far more damage. Third round then.
Still looking round 3.
You can tell that there's a bit of apprehension among the crowd here, isn't there? Because they're not on their feet cheering. They figure the South African's going to give them a bit of problem. But that's Rino Tomasi, former great tennis player he was actually, and a big-time promoter who's working for Italian television.
Tony Perez having his first real problem, I think, there.
Yeah, he'll cope with that, though. Good experience, as I said.
A little flurry, but not much on.
Yeah, the thing is, he's absorbed those punches well, Plooy. That thick neck of his really takes them almost cushioned, isn't it? 19 inches, nearly as big as Tyson's.
Very good. Plooy able to spin away from the corner, although in this round, Damiani is pushing him back.
Now the crowd has started to go for get Damiani at it a little bit there. Oh, and he's done him with a left hook. The right hand started it, Robin, then the left hook came over, and he's not going to make that in the third round, right under the bottom rope. The left hook did it, and Perez has counted the full 10.
We're going berserk here.
And as usual, the ring has been invaded. And almost, well, it was out of the blue like a thunderbolt, and Plooy never saw that coming, and neither did half the crowd, I suspect.
Nope. It was very shaken up, Plooy.
He started to throw punches back to Plooy there for a while, then he came off second best. Now here it is again. Robin, to see the left hook did it there. And again there, that was the punch that did it. He drops his hands completely.
Where's left again there, Reg?
He throws the right hand deep to the left,
took a right,
the right hand on the top of the head, and then over.
Right behind the ear almost.
Well, there it is. He's cracked his first version, and there's the young Stecker, European champion, and Campio de Mondial, the third round then, and Francesco Damiani, well, maybe a long way off from Mike Tyson on that show, but he probably now will give up the European Championship, which will leave it to Gary Mason of England against the Spaniards, but it would have been a lot better contest, of course, and the old doyen there of the Italian managers has done it again and come up with a champion. Once more in replay, Robin.
Okay, let's have a look at it again. Before actually letting one go, and he tipped with the left, tipped with the right, and left again. For a man who's not supposed to be able to punch hard, and so
yeah, he got through there, didn't he? The point is, he dropped his hands so sloppily there, Duplooy. That's what I couldn't understand. He's there. He's saying, what are you doing to me here? I'll get myself ready for you in a minute. And now, watch this. You see, he's got his hands on his hips almost.
Slip with a very good combination of punches there.
Oh, exactly.
That was a clinical demolition of Duplooy, I think we can say that.
Not the sort of thing that Johnny Duplooy will want to see too many replays of this. And he really went down like a felled tree there. You could have yelled timber as he hit him with that left hook.
Well, Duplooy asked the questions and he got some of the answers. He got the answer.
There it is. Finishes in the big climax. Started off, well, a bit dull really at the opening. And then this fellow started to warm to the task, as they say, by the third.
So Damiani becomes the new WBO heavyweight champion. That opens the door for obviously greater things for him.
Yeah, he'll have to go on now to meet some of the top Americans, and there's Reno Tomasi, as I say, working for Italian television, former big-time promoter. In fact, he promoted a championship fight in this soccer stadium way back in the 60s.
You can see, as I said, that on the left eyebrow, Damiani, a little bit puffy, a little bit...
Yeah, but that's all. It's, apart from having tasted a few punches in his time, I mean, the fellow's unmarked, isn't he? That's the problem. And I'm disappointed because I really thought Duplooy was going to do a lot better than that anyway. But there you are. If you get caught in a heavyweight game, away you go. There's no answer.
They're all very heavy. That was a great punch to finish Duplooy off.
Terry Lawless, the manager of Frank Bruno, has always said this fellow's greatly underestimated because he's not that mobile looking. People think he's not that great a fighter, but in fact, he gets the job done. And 24 fights on the turn now, 20 knockouts, or some of those technicals. And yet, once again, and if only Johnny Duplooy could see this now, know what to do about it.
What to do.
He just got a little bit slack there. That's what I can't understand. He fancied the right hand, and then he allowed himself to be almost defenseless there. Crazy.
For the fights I've seen with Duplooy, I've rarely seen him hit like that and be hit continuously for about 3 seconds there.
Yeah, more than that, really, isn't it? It's a real wind-up job. Oh, he was caught all right. I mean, there was no way he was going to beat that count.
Great punch.
Well, they love a star in Italy, don't they? Once they come up with heavyweight, they had one with Franco De Piccoli, who was a good fighter, a good heavyweight fighter, won the Olympic Games the same year as Muhammad Ali was the light heavyweight champion in Rome in 1960.
Of course, we also forget this man in the ring had a tremendous amateur career. 2 Olympic Games, silver medalist, Los Angeles, world titles as an amateur. He really went through the mill before the age of 27. He became professional, so he's probably more experienced.
Oh, yes.
Certainly as an amateur than Duplooy.
He's a good old workman, you know. That's the he's kind of a steady old ring mechanic, you know. He doesn't do it too flashily, but gets the job done.
And there's our colleague Reno Tomasi.
Well, he's got to be pleased with his night's work, if nothing else. You know, it's always nice for a commentator to be able to come up with a winner from his own country as well.